Hey, what is up guys? So we're going to be doing a deck profile here for Nekroz, and well, actually, what do you know? It's actually raining. But yeah, we're doing a deck profile here for Nekroz, one that is more updated and focused around the new format. And the reason why I say that is because with the new format in April, there is a lot to consider in this particular case. Firstly, Synchros, Xyzs, and Fusions have all got a significant buff, allowing them to pretty much summon themselves out far more easily than ever. And of course, Pendulums are still strong, and the only thing that really doesn't do anything too much is Links and Rituals. Rituals, however, can still maintain that consistency in power. You know, they've always been strong for a while now, so it's definitely quite nice here. But with that being said, we're actually going to just get started with this. I should mention this is a 51 card deck. I felt that, you know, while it sounds crazy to have 51 cards in a deck, it does actually suffice for this particular variant that I'm trying out. That is a bit more controlling, and you'll get it once I actually start with this. But to begin, we're playing the one Trishula. There's not much else to really explain about it. It's definitely really nice. 3 copies of Valkyries. I'd probably put in a second copy of Trishula by taking out one of the Valkyries. That could be an option, but for now I'm okay with the ratio here. We're also playing a Gungnir. Gungnir is definitely still nice for a bit of added protection. And of course, we're still playing the 3 copies of Brionic. Brionic is still one of the key cards of the deck, so I figured to maintain the consistency, definitely you got to play 3 of them. Still working on trying to get the 2 secrets, but for now, I'm just happy with the one I have. We're also playing the Nekroz of Yugioh. Yugioh, well, it's at 1, so we can't really do anything about it. It's not too big of a deal. We're also playing 2 copies of Clausulus, just to search out the spells. If you guys have noticed since the previous deck profile, we are no longer playing Decisive Armor, and we're no longer playing Catasta. Reason why is because those cards weren't particularly, they weren't particularly impactful enough for them to warrant a stay in the deck. In this particular one, I focused around if I was to go to a regionals event, how would I build the deck? And this is exactly what I'm doing right now. Those 2 cards just didn't work out. We're still playing the Chalice Slime, still starts us off with our incantation plays, and we're still playing the Creota. Definitely a very key card for the deck as well. For regular monsters, we're just playing the Shrit, we're playing the Ariel, and we're also playing the Dance Princess. All are very key cards for the deck, definitely very good. Dance Princess is kind of like my own personal tech, where it just prevents your opponent from negating your ritual summons, which makes you significantly more powerful. Let me just clear up everything and then we'll continue on. Alright, next up we have 2 copies of Christia. Christia is still a very good card. I still choose this card over Vanity's Ruler, simply because you know, the power is just far stronger, and ultimately the downsides on you isn't that big of an impact. We're also maintaining the 3 copies of Manju, still a very important card to search up your incantations, of course, and that'll definitely be really nice. We have 2 Candle, we have 2 copies of Talismandra, we have 2 Bookstone, and we also, of course, have 2 Pencil Plume. Definitely still very important cards of the deck. Definitely does their job, and I don't think you should decrease it by any amount. I could decrease Bookstone and Pencil Plume to 1 each if I really wanted to cut this down to a lower number of cards in the deck, because they both require the graveyard, so they are a bit slower, but even then this deck turbos out incredibly fast, and these cards just pretty much do all the work. Now, of course, I did mention that I was doing a bit of more control for this deck. As a result, I'm playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Works a very great way, and it forces out your opponent to also use their Caught by the Grave on your Ash and not on your important Nekroz cards. Of course, we're also playing the 3 copies of Drone Lockbird, definitely a very good card I chose over any of the other hand traps that I could have potentially played. I felt that Drone Lockbird definitely works well against a lot of decks because these days you see a lot of decks that can search out. So Drone Lockbird felt that it was a more appropriate choice in this particular scenario. So with that being said, let's move on to the spells. To begin, we're playing 2 copies of Mirror, of course, very important card. However, not as important as Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope is quite possibly one of the best cards in Nekroz at the moment. Same thing applies for Cycle as well. But like I said, Kaleidoscope is just one of the best, and you just can't do anything to replace it. It's just an amazing ritual spell card, so definitely fantastic. We're also playing 3 copies of Preparation of Rites, of course, to search out anything you want, particularly Bryonic in this case, but that being said, if you already have Bryonic in hand, you're most likely searching out, one of your other Nekroz cards like Clausulus, or you could potentially also search out your Yugioh as well, which would definitely start off your plays. But other than that, 3 copies is definitely a must for the deck. We're also playing the 1 copy of Inception, of course, very key card. I took out the Thanatosis because I felt that that card was definitely more of a gimmick rather than a key card for the deck. So, like I said, this deck is designed to be taken to to a regionals. I'll definitely take this particular build to a regionals if I could. Moving on, we're playing 3 copies of Caught by the Grave, still a very key card. Obviously, you don't want to be hand-trapped, so Caught by the Grave is still very important. To end things off, we are actually playing trap cards. However, I do think that this trap card is definitely going to be very important as of April, and that is going to be Dimensional Barrier. Dimensional Barrier can stop Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Pendulum. So overall, as I said in the beginning of the video, links weren't really that strong, so Dimensional Barrier, it doesn't really matter if we can't stop links, but if we can stop any of the other summoning types, we can definitely do well. One of the scary decks out there is Invoked, which is focusing on Fusion. We have Lunar Lights, we have quite a few crazy decks out there. Even Pendulums aren't completely dead, so being able to go for a Dimensional Barrier just ready to go is definitely something that you need to consider more. While it might seem more appropriate as a side deck card in this particular format, I feel like we need to be prepared as much as possible, and honestly I don't think it's going to hurt playing a Dimensional Barrier. It's really important. On with the extra deck, we're playing 2 copies of our fusions. We're playing Armaduke and we're playing Mud Dragon. Still very good cards, obviously, for our Super Poly targets. Like I said, I play Super Poly in my side deck, so it definitely works out quite well with these particular 2 cards here. So, honestly, it works quite nicely. For links, we're playing Miss Starboy, Underclock, and the Nightmares. Right now, if you guys are actually wondering, I am still looking for Cross Sheep. It's a very expensive card right now. I think it's sitting at around $16 just for a rare. So either you buy a box or you buy it as a single, and I just don't know what I can do about it. Like, even if I want to buy singles, I have to go out looking for it, and it's very hard to find, actually. So if I was to play Cloth Heap, I would actually take out the Underclock Taker and put in the Cross Sheep, because that's definitely going to be very helpful to turbo out your Archlord Christia for the deck. You know, you want to see that card as much as possible, so that's what you're going to do. But with that being said, Cross Sheep will definitely be replacing the Underclock Taker. For Synchros, we're still playing the Optimized Zolkin, we're still playing Star Eater, we're still playing Leo, we're still playing Trishula, we're still playing Omega, and we're still playing Yazi. These cards are just the Kaleidoscope targets, so definitely going to be very key. And of course, to end things off, we're playing 2 copies of Herald of the Arclight, because to go into your Yugioh, and comboing off with the heralds definitely works quite amazingly. Some of you actually did ask me why I was playing Omega. I mean, it's the same case for any of these. I mean, you could play any level 8 you want. Omega particularly is better because it actually has a graveyard effect. So if that's the case, why not just play Omega? It's really good, it's at 1, and if I can, I'll just play it. But with that being said, this is pretty much it for the more controlled variant of Nekroz. 51 card deck, definitely very fun, but at the same time also competitive enough that I would personally take it to a regionals event. So I hope you guys actually enjoyed this particular version of Nekroz. This particular version of Nekroz, I will not be doing test hand videos for this. If you guys want to see test hands for Nekroz, definitely check out the first one I actually put up. I felt that that was already good enough to demonstrate it. This deck does the exact same thing. It has the incantations, and that whole combo revolves around them. So there's no point in me showing test hands because it's going to feel redundant. You might as well watch the previous ones I've already done. On top of that, this deck is going to be a little bit slower than the previous deck in terms of being able to combo, because we are playing hand traps, we are playing traps, so we are trying to obviously add in more control by sacrificing a bit of the consistency for the combo pieces, and as a result it's not as likely that you'll be able to combo off every single turn. However, as long as you draw into at least one copy of your incantation, you pretty much have everything ready to go. So definitely very nice there. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this particular deck profile, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.